everyone, how are y'all doing today on this wonderful, beautiful, blessed Monday? I hope y'all having a wonderful day. Well, I just came on today to introduce myself. So let me see if I get a few viewers on, and then we're gonna go into just me introducing myself, so y'all can know who I am before June 26th. And I just wanted to come on here, right? And talk to you guys, you ladies, about June 26th, right? Save the date. So let's see if we get a couple of people on the live. Let's see. Well, first off, I don't want to make it too long because I'm on the phone and I normally have trouble with uploading. So I just don't want to make it too long. So let me just go ahead and introduce myself. For everyone who do not know who I am Coach Rideaux. Okay, I am a survivor. I am a woman of strength. I am a child of God. Not only that, but I am a coach, author, and speaker. All right, I empower Christian women to heal, write, publish, and walk in a divine assignment while turning their testimonies into transformations for others. Okay, I am all about empowering and encouraging my sisters, especially my Christian women who have a story out there to tell. Not only that, but I am a three-time best-selling author as well as an international best-selling author. Okay, I have published 5 books, well actually 3 books, 1 journal, and 1 accountability planner. Okay, a total of 5. Not only that, but I've been in 3 anthologies as well. 2 of those anthologies has made me bestseller. One has made me 2-time bestseller and international bestseller as well. So I am super excited about that and about the journey that I have been on so far. So what brought me on today was just for me to introduce myself, but as well as to, remind everyone to make sure that you are in the building June 26th, because I am hosting my first live workshop. Yes, my first live free 2-hour workshop, Write the Vision. And during this workshop, I am going to help you with creating an outline to prepare you for your story, to help you be able to tell your story and testify how God was good for you, right? How God was good to you. Now, telling your story is all about, you know, starting your healing, right? But not just your healing, but the healing for other women as well, right? Because your story is just not for you. Your story is for someone else too, right? Your story is someone else, freedom. Your story is someone else, breakthrough. They want to, what I'm saying, your story inspires others to, tell their truth and to step out and not be afraid or ashamed of what they went through in life. Okay, so that's what that is all about, right? During our workshop, I will be talking about 3 things, right? 3 reasons to why you should turn your testimony into a book. Not only that, but I will be talking about one of the steps of the 7 steps to becoming an author, right? I'm only going to be talking about one of those steps, and one of those steps is very important, so I do want to talk about that. Okay, not only that, but I have created a free workbook that's going to help you be able to outline your chapter. Okay, so if you have not gotten that free workbook yet, please make sure that you get your free workbook before June 26th. All right, in this workbook we are going to create your first chapter title. Not just only create your first chapter title, we are going to talk about the 3 major parts of structuring your paper, right? I have 6 steps to structuring your paper, but there's 3 parts, right? We have the struggle, we have the encounter, and we have the shift. Okay, we're going to talk about those 3 things. Not only just that, but we are going to create your writing prompt. Okay, so before you leave the workshop, you're going to already have an outline ready and prepared to start writing your first chapter. All right, so that's what June 26th is all about. So if you are not busy, if you don't have anything to do, if someone came to you and say, hey, you got a story to tell, or if God has given you an assignment to release your story, this is the time for you, right? This is the time for you to get involved and come to the workshop just to get a feel of what it is to write your story, right? Not only that, but I have created a Christian Christian Women Workbook Blueprint, right? To help you, right? This right here, you do have to pay for. It's only $2. It's on my website as well. But this right here helps you and prepare you for the next step, right? The workshop gets you prepared to write in your chapter outline, but this gets you to the next step of um, get ready to structure your chapter as well. Okay, so if you ever thought about being a part of an anthology, right? This is the perfect book for you. This is the perfect workbook for you, right? Because it's going to help you prepare you for that chapter, right? Because when you are a part of somebody's anthology, you are required to write at least one chapter, right? And one chapter normally consists of 15 to 2,000 words per chapter, right? So my structure that I have will help you, prepare you, and help you with writing your chapter, right? With ease, not frustration, being able to just step out, you know, being able to just step out of your comfort zone, right? It's going to help you do that. It's going to help you release your testimony, right? Because that's what it's all about, is me pushing you and empowering you to tell your testimony so it can inspire someone else. Like I said before, your story is just not for you, right? Your story is for someone else, right? Someone else who is lost, someone else who is stuck. Your story is someone else's light, okay? Your story is someone else's light, and somebody is waiting on your story, right? And you sitting on it, and you thinking that nobody want to hear your story, or not even only that, but you might be afraid, or you might feel ashamed, or you might feel embarrassed, about the things that you have went through, and you might not feel comfortable right now in telling your story, right? So what I want to do, I want to push and encourage my sisters that are out there who has the desire to tell a story, right? Who has a desire to want to empower and encourage other women through their story, through their experience. Like I always tell people, all the books that I have written, every single book that I have written is based off of my experience, what I went through. It's not me on the outside looking in. It is me actually in the inside going through it, okay? And I always tell people, imagine if I wasn't obedient to God's instructions, right? I wouldn't even be here. I wouldn't even be the person that I am. I wouldn't even be the author that I am. I wouldn't even be completing my assignment that God had told me to complete. In 2020, he came to me and told me to release my story, to tell my truth. And just like you, I was in denial. Okay? Just like you, I was in denial. I thought it was impossible to tell my truth. Right? I thought it was impossible to tell my truth. I didn't think that I could write my story. Because I was hurting from it. I still felt ashamed and embarrassed for not just for what I went through in life, but for the decisions that I made that caused and that added extra struggles and extra challenges, and took me longer to get to where God wanted me to be. Right? And it was all based off of because of my decisions, wanting to do things my way, not seeing God's way, right? So I always tell people that, right? And people be like, well, I'm not prepared. I'm not this. Well, I'm here to tell you that God has already, even though you don't believe it or not, God already have prepared you for your assignment. Or he's preparing you right now for that assignment. So God is doing two things. He either preparing you right now for that assignment that he has for you, or he didn't already prepared you for that assignment, right? So let me give you an example, a prime example. When I was on age 15, that's when I was taken away from my mother, me and my siblings. I found journaling as a way to express my emotions, how I was feeling, what I was going through. That was a time for me to just write, right? And throughout my childhood and up to my teenage, years, and up to my, mid-adult years, my early adult years, I wrote. I just wrote. That's the way I had. That was my way of expressing, again, my emotions and what I was going through. And in the process of me doing that, I didn't think that God was using me, right? I didn't think that God was preparing me. I didn't understand what was happening because that wasn't my way of thinking at that time of moment, right? So when 2020 came and God told me to release my story, I was in denial. I thought it was impossible. I wouldn't ready. I wasn't prepared. I didn't have the money. So what we call those? We call those excuses. So I had every excuse in the world to why I couldn't complete the assignment that God was instructing me to complete. So one day I'm cleaning up and I'm going through everything, and then I've come across these spirals and notebooks that I have accumulated throughout the years, right? So as I'm accumulating, as I'm looking at all these spirals that I have accumulated out the years, I can hear God talking to me. I can hear him telling me, like, see, I already prepared you. You already prepared. Now you just ready for that next step. See, I didn't even think I didn't know he was preparing me. And see, sometimes we don't think God is preparing us, especially when we are going through our struggles and our hard time. But I want to tell you, God is preparing you right now, or he didn't already prepared you. You have to understand, you have to believe that it's possible, right? Throughout these last couple of years, I learned that for with God, anything's possible. Luke chapter 137, right? For with God, nothing shall be impossible. As long as God is by your side, nothing is impossible. Them doors that he has promised you that he's going to open for you, he's going to open for you. But you just have to stay faithful and to focus on your God-given assignment and move when he tells you to move. Obey his commands. It's going to be scary. It's going to be hard. But you still need to do it, no matter what. Because there's somebody out there, there's a young lady, there's a woman out there that needs your story. And you holding on to it like, don't nobody need it. Like you don't need it, right? You need to release some of that, right? You need to start your healing process as well. And that's what this is what I'm about, right? I'm about pushing and, you know what I'm saying, empowering and encouraging my sisters to release their story, to walk in the God-given assignment. That's why God created you. God created you because you have an assignment. He created you because he had a purpose behind why he created you. He woke you up this morning because you still have a race to run, whether you believe it or not. Your assignment is not complete. But the only thing is, you just have to stay faithful and focused on your God-given assignment. Understand your purpose. Understand why he created you. He created you for a reason. And it's up to you to find out what that reason is. Why God? Why you create me? What is it about me that you keep on blessing me with life every single day? What is it about me that you just bless me with a roof over my head every single day? Right? What is it about me, Lord? That's what you need to be asking. What is it about me? What is my purpose? What is my assignment? And stay faithful and focused to it and continue to pray on it and ask for clarity and direction. Because that's what it's all about. Clarity and direction. Faithful and focus on your assignment. Right? Your life is about your assignment. And once you understand that, once you realize that, nothing is going to be able to come between you and your assignment. No matter what you go through, nothing is going to be able to come through you or your assignment. So that's all I wanted to say. Remember, save the date, June 26th, 7 p.m. Central Time, right here live. Make sure you grab your free workbook. And if you know any sisters out there that got a testimony to tell, please share this with them. Please, the workshop that's going to be happening June 26th at 7 p.m. Central Time. Okay? Make sure you grab your workbook, and I hope to see everybody there. June 26th, 7 p.m. Central Time, live. And remember, I am Coach Rideaux. Let it go, let it fly, and testify. And I am my sister's keeper.